Hello everybody and welcome back to Bouncing Back with Brighton. So in the last episode we had two incredibly positive results against Swansea and Wigan. We've played a couple of games since then, and in today's episode we've got second place Stoke and Charlton. Just a little squad update. Jack Grealish has decided to hand in a transfer request. I must have promised him we were going to finish top half of the Premier League this season when we first signed him in the January transfer window of last season. So he now wants to leave the club. And to be honest with you, I think he's been a bit of a failed signing, and I'm more than happy to let the boy go. He did absolutely awful for us in the Premier League. He's played okay when he's got games in the Championship, but he's obviously been injured for quite a while now. Izquierdo's come in on that left-hand side and playing fantastically. We've got McAllister in the attacking midfield centre role, which is where Jack Grealish would usually play now. And he's got a lot of potential and a lot of room to grow. So if we can get some big money for Jack Grealish champion, I'm not going to force him into my squad anymore if he doesn't want to be here. So I'm probably seeing the last of him. In terms of the fixtures since the last time we met, was the first of which was against Brighton in the League Cup second round. We managed to win this one 3-1, a heavily rotated side, and quite an even game to be honest with you. But Victor, Jose Izquierdo and Sutton got the goals for us to see us safely through to the next round, where we'll be facing Coventry, I think. And finally, we went away from home back in the Championship to Sheffield Wednesday, and Anthony Knockaert got himself a double, and Scott McTominay got himself a goal on one of his rare starts, and got us a 3-1 victory, which sees the Sky Bet Championship looking like this. We sit top of the table, 4 points clear from Stoke, who were playing in the first game today. They're unbeaten as well alongside us, but they've drew 2 games so far. Southampton have drew a game in between last episode and this one, so they've dropped off the pace quite a bit. But this game is huge. You know, beat Stoke City today, we could potentially go 7 points clear from a second place side. So this is how we're going to line up for today's game. Jack Butland will of course start in goal. We're going to give Bogle his first start at right back. You know, he's one of our new signings from the summer. And although Martin Montoya is a better player, I see Bogle as the long-term future star at right back. And Montoya was obviously kicking up a massive fuss to leave the club in the summer. So I'm in no hurry to give him game time. It does weaken our defence a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but hopefully he can come in and do a good job. Sutar has been injured for a few weeks, but he returns for today's game alongside Cabezas at centre-back. Alex Martinez retains his place at left-back. Beluta and Bissouma in the defensive midfield and centre midfield role respectively. Anthony Knockaert, McAllister, Jose Izquierdo is our attacking midfielders, with Jan Mlakar coming in for an injured Victor. And Stoke come at us with a 4-1-2-3. Any really familiar names? Tom Ince, obviously a good player. He's lost a bit of his pace actually, so that's not too much of a bad thing. And yeah, as you can imagine, Stoke have got a pretty good side. They've got Josh Tymon at left back. Not as good as he was on previous games, but I'm sure he will improve massively over the years. And it's someone I actually want to keep an eye on. So obviously big game today in the first one. Stoke City in second place, 4 points behind us in the league. And it could be an absolutely massive win if we manage to pull it off. But we are away from home. They are a decent side. And we need to be at our best for that to happen. In the second game today, we've got Charlton. I think they're close to the relegation zone. So hopefully that one will be a bit easier. As Knockaert comes forward from the right-hand side, takes his strike from the edge. And it goes well wide. Another highlight, 8 minutes in now. And it looks like it could potentially go Stoke City's way. Atebo on this right-hand side cuts in, gets a lovely ball for Ngoy. What a touch that was. See his little curling touch there? That was a little bit ridiculous, but it is a Stoke City corner. Rafinha plays it in, managed to get it clear. Can we break with Knockaert? Because I don't think the highlight's over. The highlight is over. Mulgrew with a free kick for Stoke. Butland manages to keep it out. Only falls back to Gianni Mbula, but it's a little bit nervy here. Neither side creating clear-cut opportunities. Stoke are holding a lot more of the ball. That leads me to think we should maybe go on a more cautious mentality. A pretty dreadful first half going by the match stats, but I will welcome half-time at 0-0. Not going to make any changes. We're not going to panic too much. I would take a 0-0 draw here if it was an offer. But I would prefer the 3 points because it would create just a massive gap between us and them. Beluta is struggling a little bit in that defensive midfield role on 75% already. We are going to have to look to take him off. I'm going to move Bissouma from centre midfield into that defensive midfield role, and we'll bring on Joshua Onoma in the centre midfield role. A little bit more attacking than Bissouma. Definitely better physically as well, so hopefully he might give us the spark in the centre of midfield. You never know. Go positive for the last 30 minutes or so. Knockaert, that's a perfect position for him. It's managed to keep it out and the Stoke City defender manages to get it clear. I thought that was going to see us go in 1-0 up inside 80 minutes, but the highlight's not over. Alex Martinez on the left-hand side, the ball's played in. It falls to Bogle on this right-hand side. Decent ball in. Is Credo with the header. Keeper reclaims. And is that a highlight, really? Please say no. I wish it was the highlight, because it looks like Stoke City are going to come forward this time with Dallas. Lovely through ball to Tom Ince. I took the piss out of his pace, and Jack Butland, with what a save that was, manages to make it hit the bar, and we stay safe. Right. Any more substitutions we can make here? Bogle's had a decent game on his return. Martin Montoya can come on for him. Bissouma will take him off for Scott McTominay in the defensive midfield spot. Just freshen things up a little bit, keep things tight. Knockout with another free kick from a perfect angle. And Anthony Knockout on the second time of asking, and basically the exact same position of the free kick from the last time, manages to put us 1-0 up. We are going to go cautious for the final 5 minutes or so. That is a fantastic free kick. Stoke City wall was probably poorly positioned. Oh, come on, lads, hold on to this. Only 4 minutes to go. Hold out, boys. And I think that's going to be it. Mlakar gets fouled by the Stoke City defender. He's already on a yellow. He's actually going to get himself a red card in the final seconds of the game. And we are going to beat Stoke City. Second place Stoke City make it 7 wins out of 7. 21 points. 7 points clear of Stoke. I think Southampton won, so we're not 7 points clear of second place. But beating the better side, one of the better sides in the league, away from home, this early on in the season is just absolutely fantastic. Anthony Knockout, take a bow, son. And that's how the league table looks after that game. We are 5 points clear from Southampton in second, 6 points from Middlesbrough in third, and 7 points from Stoke City in fourth place. They were one of the other unbeaten sides in the league. I think there's only us and Middlesbrough left, if I'm not mistaken, and Derby. Derby is still unbeaten as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out to see if we can live com one of their games. But we've got Charlton in 3 days, so I'm going to rest the boys for a day from training. Anthony Knockout definitely deserves the rest, and we'll see you in the next game. So we're back on game day against Charlton. Looking at my assistant manager opposition reports, it looks like we're going to be playing against a very defensive formation with the target man up top. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, see how they play. But I think they are struggling in the league. They are currently sitting in 22nd position, 1 win and 1 draw and 5 defeats. You just know this is the game where we're going to get beat, don't you? And we're going to go with a pretty unchanged lineup for today's game. Bogle keeps his spot at right back. And apart from that, there's been absolutely no other changes. Victor is still injured. Jack Grealish is still returned from injury as well, who would probably still be on the bench if he was available, because he is a good championship player. And Charlton do come at us with a 4-5-1 with the defensive midfielder. Hopefully we can isolate that striker, completely nullify their attack, and let our attack and flair players, particularly our wingers. McAllister hasn't really done anything since he got back into the side. Hopefully we can see them flourish in that sort of formation. So we kick off shooting from left to right in this first half. We are at home. We are expected to win. I just feel like this is the banana slip. McAllister has picked up an early knock. We're going to get him straight off and get Ben Woodburn on in that attack and midfield role. No point risking McAllister. He hasn't been performing particularly well, so we're not going to miss him. Highlight now, Knockout with a corner. Mlakar gets his head on it. His Quedo's there. It's been disallowed. It's offside. Nobody. Just get back in your positions. The first half after that highlight has basically been a dull affair. Charlton look like they might have an opportunity though through a free kick, but Sutar manages to get rid of it, and Woodburn can drive forward on the left hand side, not particularly with pace either, but Mlakar, he's sent through in behind, and he should be doing better with that. Our strikers are not performing this season. I might have to start giving Ben Woodburn the games up top. Baluta to suit our back. We've got space for the right hand side for Bogle, but we'll try to find the long ball up top. Woodburn and Mlakar knocking out on the right hand side. As Bogle eventually gets a decent cross in, and just as I was saying, Jan Mlakar's not doing enough to retain his spot up front. He manages to get his first goal of the season, the first assist for Bogle on that right hand side. I think he's actually performing in the 2 games he's played. He's performing better than Montoya did, so I'm more than happy with that. Get one of our English lads starting is always a good sign. But 1-0 up going into the half time, I'm happy with that. And there's the half time, and as you can see by the match stats, we're completely dominating Charlton in most areas. We've just got to be careful of set pieces, basically. So we'll kick off the second half, this time shooting from right to left. Victory would be absolutely fantastic. I wonder how Southampton and Stoke are getting on. Southampton are currently drawn against Birmingham. Middlesbrough beating Sheffield United. We'll have to keep an eye on them as well. Doesn't look like Stoke are actually... Oh, Stoke are playing Barnsley and winning 1-0. Bogle's struggling at the right back spot again. We'll get Montoya on for him. We'll save our last sub for the final 15 minutes or so, just in case we do pick up an injury or a sending off. With 18 minutes to go, though, there is another highlight. Bissouma on the coming through the centre. Montoya's there on the right-hand side. He takes a strike. Good save by the keeper. You would have thought he might cross that one, but he went for goal. Barnsley have equalised against Stoke, and Southampton are still 0-0. This will be a fantastic day of results if we can hold on to our own lead. Alex Martinez to Baluta in the centre. Gets dispossessed by Evans, and can Charlton break? They couldn't break, no. Oh, we're dilly-dallying with the ball in midfield. We'll give it away. Bissouma with a great challenge. Evans drives forward for Charlton. Butland with the save. Was that the highlight? It was the highlight. We'll make our final change of the game. We'll get Bissouma off for Scott McTominay, a more defensive option in that centre midfield role than Joshua Onuma. With 1.5 minutes to go, there's another highlight, and we get a penalty. Who was taken down there is Cueto after a free kick from Anthony Knockaert. Ben Woodburn is going to step up to take the penalty. 1 minute to go, this to seal the 3 points. Come on, Ben. He puts it in the back of the net. Makes it 2-0 to Brighton. It's been a tight game. I mean, we haven't really created that many good opportunities, but we have managed to take the ones that we did create. And thankfully, we're now 2-0 up against Charlton, and the 3 points are coming home with us. And this will be the final highlight of the game. We're already a minute over extra time, and there we are. Brighton 2, Charlton 0. We will take a look at the league table and see how the other boys got on in the league. And there we have it. Middlesbrough ended up winning 4-1 against Sheffield United. Was 6 points clear from second place Middlesbrough. Stoke ended up drawing against Barnsley. Southampton ended up drawing against Birmingham. So it's looking good, lads. It's really looking good. In terms of the next episode, I do want to bring you the Middlesbrough game, as they are currently in second place. So we'll come back for Ipswich and Middlesbrough in the next episode. Are Derby still unbeaten? They are. If I want to play Derby and Norwich in the episode after, because I want to take both of their unbeaten records from them. Anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.